Good afternoon, our respected guests, faculty members, and all participants. On behalf of RIT College, I, Saili Bhosle, welcome you all to explore on innovative teaching learning practices in engineering. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our respected guest, Dr. Samir Gasgate sir, who is an assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, G.H. Raisoni College of Engineering and Management, Pune, Maharashtra, and principal investigator of Center of Excellence in Hydrogen Fuel Test Laboratory. He obtained his PhD in Mechanical Engineering at National Institute of Technology, Agartala, India in 2022 under the joint supervision of Professor Bhaumik and Professor Saha in Japan, and Masters in Mechanical Heat Power Engineering from Government College of Engineering, Karad, Maharashtra in 2012. He is currently engaged in cooling of high heat flux electronic devices through micro or nanostructure surfaces, boiling heat transfer enhancement, etc. He is the author of more than 38 SCI journal papers and 35 international and national conference papers. He received the Science and Engineering Research Board DST Government of India International Travel Support Fund in 2023 to present his paper at ICP 2023 at Bali, Indonesia. He has been recognized as International Collaborator for Sao Paulo State University, Brazil. He is acting as academic editor for 3 SCIE and 3 Scopus Index journals. Now, I request to guests, please start the session.
Thank you, ma'am, for a good presentation and introduction of me. Is Kerner sir is there? Hello. Hello. I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is my presentation visible to everyone?
No, sir.
Changing the slides?
No, sir.
Yes.
No, not visible, sir.
My PPT is not visible. Hello. And my slides are changing now. Okay. Kerner sir. Hello. Is Kerner sir is available in?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, I have shared a quiz link, Google link on your WhatsApp. When I reach to the reference section, please share to the every participants, so as to they can attend that quiz to know about the research. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sure, sure.
Thank you.
Send it. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Present over here. Today, I am going to give a talk on the how to write a research paper. So before that, I thanks to the Kaseko Education Society, RIT Lohegaon Pune College for inviting me to give a talk on the innovative teaching learning practices in engineering using a research. So This is my little bit introduction that I am working as a principal investigator, and I have a center of excellence in hydrogen fuel test laboratory where we are testing a hydrogen in our GHRCM college. So basically in teaching learning process for engineering, we have lots of methods to uh, for innovative teaching for the students. So basically apart from all this, I am going to focus on the encourage research part. So with this encourage research part, uh, yes, please mute your mic. Someone else disturbing my talk. Miss Varsha Nalaude. Please unmute your mic so I can proceed for my presentation. So why does we have the innovative teaching learning method as an encourage research? The with the research, what we can do for our teaching improvement and the involvement of the students. So for that, this encourage research approach in education is required to motivate the student to find the new things, and while finding the new things, they can use their available tools in a modern range of a vision and cultivate a spirit of investigation. So this research will cultivate the student mind to do a research in the ideas what are generated during the lectures in a college. So while doing this, if the students are interested to do a research, he or she can participate in national and international conference. For going for the conference, he has to do the in-depth literature survey, whatever may be the field of his or her work. And if we read the literatures, what are the problems and their solutions are already done throughout the world, then they can know the what are the updated techniques. Let us say if the steam power plant is in syllabus, so it is changed into nuclear power plant. Okay, so student is learning the steam power plant, okay, coal based steam power plant, but they doesn't know in a syllabus about the nuclear power plant. But with this research activity or the project, they can know the updated technology in their syllabus. So this in this way can research will help to boost the latest technology knowledge to the student and for their better quality research. Also, they can publish a more research paper as the institute is for the polytechnic. May not student much more interested for the more number of research paper, but try to give a sense of writing a research paper and try to publish a one good indexing journal paper with a high impact factor, or faculty can go for the more research paper. So with this research, if you are doing the more number of research papers, and with this research paper you can apply for the funding agencies for fund, and from fund if you purchase any instrument, then you can go for the consultancy projects. So you are gaining the financial assets for the institutes and for the own purpose. So in this way also we can improve the teaching learning methodology, which helps to improve the stand of the university and the institute. After participation in a national international conference by the students or the faculties, they have several contacts related to their area of interest with the foreign or Indian delegates. Okay, so this helps to collaborate with them to widen their research area with the national and international collaborators or professors or the scholars. So now my main topic of today's presentation is how to write a research paper. So why a research paper? So a scientific experiment which is not complete until the results have been published or understood. I will come to this point with an example why this is unnecessary to publish a research paper. Then, a scientific paper is a written and published report describing the original research. Means, without doing any kind of activity, research activity, you can't publish a paper except a review paper, right? So, what is the research paper writing? The purpose of research paper writing is to communicate a new scientific finding. If you are doing some modification or a new innovative work that can be communicated with the world known professors or the scholars or the students, the best medium of the communication is a research paper. Then with this research paper, you can clearly, simple way ordering the communication, which helps to transfer the new scientific finding to throughout the world. Also, this research paper must be written in a proper English, which gives the sense in the fewest short words. Means like a story. If you write the research paper like a story, it won't help you to get the reputation over the world. Okay, it is to be right in the sense of fewest short words. Now, the previously two slides I told you why this scientific reports is to be published first. That example is going to discuss in these slides. So here I am going to origin of the scientific writing. Now I have categorized the activity related to the paper happened before and after the uh, Christ. So see, the first cave painting and inscription were the first attempt to leave a records. Okay, in 2000 BC, about papyrus paper was come in and used as a medium of communication. Thereafter, in 119 BC, the parchment made from animal skin came into use. And in 2 and 105 AD, after the death of Christ, the Chinese invented the paper. So here you can see in 105 AD, the Chinese has registered on their name that they have invented the paper. But is this activity started in 105 AD? No, this activity start before 2000 BC. But those who have done this work, writing anything on the paper, was not registered on the name of whichever the country who has worked in before Christ, 2000 years before the Christ. Okay, later on the using animal skin for the communication, but all credit has gone to the Chinese people. So it means whatever you are doing the scientific work or innovative work or any modifications with your experimental techniques, methods, and reporting that output of that work, it must be published or registered in any of the journal or any agencies. So that has been done by the Chinese people. Later on, so that's why that 4 point is no, I given the heading as a knowledge is lost without written records. Okay. The next is knowledge could not be widely circulated with no evidence duplications. So until and unless if the knowledge has not been uh, done by the repetition of the experiment, it can't get the exact results. So likewise in 111 AD, the Chinese invented the movable type of one machine. And in 1455 AD, the Gutenberg printed his 42 lines Bible from that movable type of a printing press. In 1665, that printing press was used by a scientific journal where the paper has been published. So, as 1100 AD, Chinese invented that typewriter. That credit was gone to the 1455 AD Gutenberg's printer, right? So these things is happen with us also. So whatever you are doing the research activity or scientific finding, try to publish it. So before going to how to write the paper, first we know what is previously done and what modification has to be conducted thereafter in 19th century. So as previously all the published paper was the descriptive ones, means it is a case report. Now also some of the journal is there, in that you have to write only result and discussion, abstract, letter on abstract, and its conclusion. Okay, only 3 headings was there. So this type of paper is called as a descriptive papers, and that too in a 2 pages. Okay, after in half of 19th century, the reproducibility of this experiment become a fundamental principle of the philosophy of science. Means doing this again and again experiment is need a in-depth explanation, and what are the change in the previous experimentation to the present experimentation is needed, and that was the important things is become in the science field. So this method sections lacking some important research to be addressed. So in the 19th century, in the mid of the 19th century, AMRAD story has been started. This AMRAD organization has prepared some guidelines to write and research paper. So this organization started a scientific paper and started to develop it. Okay, so here I am going to just share a one journal template for your reference. This is my own paper. Okay, are you visible to this paper? Please, someone can comment on this.
Yes, sir, visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. See the things now, according to AMRAD policy, see the title will be there, the author name, their affiliation, then abstract, then according to the that AMRAD policy, introduction will be there, then nomenclature, what are the short forms, Greek symbols, subscripts are used. Later on, then experimental method, that is the methodology part will be there. Then there will be the result and discussion part will be there. Okay, so this is the structure of the paper. So Emirates start prepare developed how to write the scientific paper in the 19th century. So what is AMRAD stand for? I stand for introduction, where this section is tell us what problem is to be studied for the reader, and M stand for the methods, where we get the answer how was the problem to be solved, where again R stand for the results, which shows us what are the findings, and A for and D for discussion, where what should we do with this finding. Okay, so according to the your scientific work, how the scientific work should be reported and it is beneficial for the reader, this is the major 4 parts was described by the AMRAD organization. So now with that, in 20th century, that AMRAD has updated that AMRAD to the M plus R, means method plus results, means using that method, what are you getting results, that completely sections comes under the experimental section. And results, obtain results which are you formulated with the using a table, figures. Okay, and their final outcomes, both combination of these things will called as their description in the form of text is called as a result and discussion section. So that AMRAD is changed to the M plus R and R plus D. Now what is meant by the research paper? A research paper is written and published report describing the original research result. Describing original research results. So it is very much important. If any paper doesn't have a novelty, then it won't be called as a research paper, or it may be chances to get a rejected. So that's why this is more important. The paper which is describing original research result, except the review paper. Okay, so it must be the first publication of original research. Means if the work is novel, then it should be a first publication of that original result. Then it should be easily readable or available to the peers of the author, can repeat the experiment and test the conclusion. Means if you have prepared some experimental method or one experimental setup, and you elaborated that function of that setup clearly, their measuring parameters and outputs. And after reading your paper of that methodology, then your peers can thought about that the some modification is needed in this setup, and according to that modification they can do the again one experimentation, and based on that experimentation they can conclude on their results. So for that, to get the clear readability to the reader, you must address your methodology very clearly and concisely in a journal or other source document readily available with the means this writing a research paper and publishing it is helps to reader, which is available freely on online platform or offline platform to all the scientific community. See, if a machine has invented in India and it the technology has not been disclosed to the any of the journal, so someone will try to, if he got this knowledge about that thing, someone of the other country will file a patent. Okay, so that things to be stopped, and before that you should publish a paper. So the definition of a scientific or research paper, why this is important, this scientific paper give you the information to your reader. He can assess your observation, your experimentation, your intellectual process means methodology what you have uses, is their impact on the uh, scientific findings or the society of your outputs. And also, after publishing this research paper, this is freely available to the scientific community without any restriction. Again, your findings which has been published is recognized by the secondary services like biological abstract, index, medicine, PubMed. These all the actually medical related secondary services. Means if someone is working on the cancer and they got the better result using some machine learning technique to identify the early detection of the cancer symptoms. Okay, so if medical people thinks that this is really a good work for the medical background, so they will recognize you. Okay, so such type of agencies are there, they are watching your research, and if it is really benefit to the industry, society or human beings, they will definitely adopt your technology or findings. So this can be happens only with the, if you report your research paper on online platform. Some important language points while writing a paper, it should be keep in mind that poor experimentation cannot be masked by the brilliant write. If you done the very pure experiment but uh, uh, try to write and good English, you trying to present that experimentation with your English communication, but already your experimentation is very poor. And in case reverse one, you done the very good experimentation but presentation of that experimentation with the English communication is very poor, then both these things will hamper your acceptance of your paper. Next is, try to avoid the complex sentence structure. Okay, means two to three things are there, you want to compile that into the one sentence, try to make it in the number of sentence, which is more better to better for the readers to read it. Okay, uh, later on, the paper should have a English language which is must be a simple and clear one. Always keep in mind that whatever you are writing a text about your findings, your methodology, your introduction, abstract, everything must be in a paragraph, not in a like kind of story, one start and at the end it will be complete. No, make it in a paragraph. So before starting to write a paper, one should know the some things, that you have to record your experimental readings with the date. Okay, what are your inputs, what are your outputs, hmm? What kind of results you are getting through these experimentations. Okay, try to make it these things in a tabular formation, which is helps to prepare the draw a graph. Then keep a file record of summary of result and any observation. However, it is insignificant. Means someone will try first experimental trial. In that he doesn't get the success. Okay, it doesn't mean that he is a completely failure. But once he did this experimentation, he come to know that somewhere else I have failed. That's why my results were wrong. Okay, so keep that record initially. With that record you will come to know that this parameter calculations or this parameter maybe have some sort of loose connection, everything's like in sensors when we use the temperature measurement. Okay, so due to that, that reading is deflecting. So when you come to know these things, when you have a proper record of that results. Okay, that's why you should keep readings in a tabular formation. Then revise your reading. You may need to repeat an experiment while you still have the material. If you have done the experimentation, but still you have a material to do a experiment, then go for the again experimentation, because the previous experimentation is your beginner, and once you go for some number of experimentation, you become a one practitioner, one experienced practitioner. So that will helps to go for the again better results. Write an idea where whenever they come to you. Means if you are traveling, sitting in a MSRT bus and looking outside, some dry region come and you are thinking that I think these things should be here. So this new like in some lake, if there with this provision, then these people will be help, agriculture farmer will get the help. Likewise, whatever kind of ideas is comes in your mind, try to write it on a paper. Okay, it will help to start research in that area. And after getting that idea, then go for the paper, read a paper. If there is such thing is already reported, then you may stop or come to know how these technologies work. If it is that technology has not reported, then it is a chance to you to work on that ideas. Now this is the all the points are essential while writing a research paper. So first one is the title, which is very important, which describe concisely the core content of the paper. What is in your paper? Like in we watch a movie, but on the name of the movie, we come to know the story of the movie is like this. The same thing is the paper title. Then abstract. It is a summary of your all work. What is your introduction, methodology, uh, what, what parameters you are studying, whether it is experimental, whether it is simulation, whether it is machine learning, whether it is a medical paper, a review paper. So everything will come to know from this abstract. Later on, you have to focus on the introduction, where you provide the content and rationalize from the study. Means a reported study, not your study. You are going to read some others work, and that is going to be report in the introduction section. Later on, material. Here you have to describe the experimental result, so it is to be reproducible. Then if it is experimental setup, you have mentioned over in material, then you have to explain in methods how you are going to perform that experiment. That's why you have to mention the experimental procedure, how you conduct this experimentation. Later on, you have to discuss on the results. Here you summarize the finding without the interpretation. And after these methods, you will get the output values. Based on the output values, you will frame your results with the interpretation. Some text will you will disclose why these things is happen, why graph is coming this way, why the nature of the graph is going upward, why the nature of the graph is going downward. So some reason, technical reason, some uh, reasons will be there, and that result you have to discuss in the result and discussion below the your result table or a figure. Then discussion, interpret the finding of the study. Your finding you have to interpret. Also, you have to compare your finding with the reported studies. Those who are similarly work on your area, you should compare your work with those people's, and you can conclude on that my result is improved with this percent compared with this person or that person. Likewise, you have to interpret it. Then the conclusion, you have to summarize the finding in that conclusion, what what is your objective, and according to objective what you have achieved, that things has to be disclosed in the conclusion section. Acknowledgement. If someone, some research organization, institute, some industry anyway helped you, then try to acknowledge them. This acknowledgement helps you while going for the review process, because some of the research institute, like can consider as IIT Bombay, if you have done some things in IIT Bombay, so this credential will see that when the reviewer will read your paper, they will come to know that whatever the outputs or results came from your experimentation or characterization, that is genuine. So that kind of faith will be on you by the reviewer. So that's why try to acknowledge. If you receive any funding, then that funding you have to mention in the acknowledgement. Then references. Whatever the papers, books or website you use to prepare your article, cite them. Okay, that everything will come into a reference section. So now the title. How to prepare a title? So title should be a fewest possible word that adequately describe the content of the paper. So if you see my paper, very short and sweet title. Effect of ZR2 nanoparticle deposited layer on cool boiling heat transfer enhancement. So see, effect, okay, of which ZR2 deposited layer on which heat transfer for what enhancement. So four keywords will be there, and based on that you have to prepare the title. This type of simple title you have to prepare. Then title is extremely important, must be chosen with the great care, as it will be read by the thousands. Like can see, some of the movie get initially reputation before watching the movie or releasing the movie. Why? Because their names seems good, okay, or some stories are good but their title of the movie is very bad. So on the name of the movie, people won't go to the theater to watch that movie. So same scenarios is happening with the research paper also. If your title is not energetic, then no one will going to read your paper. If no one is going to read your paper, you won't get any credit share. Okay, so try to mention or write a title which attract the researchers over the world. Then indexing and abstracting of the paper depends on the accuracy of the title. Yes, this is very important. Don't try to write same title of the paper as someone has already written. You have to write, you have to modify this kind. Maybe someone has done the work and your work of different experimental setup, but the work is same. Still, you can't write his reported paper's title as similar to that. Okay, you have to take care of that, because this abstracting, indexing or citations process bodies are there, which are I called as that plagiarism. Okay, so plagiarism, people will try to identify that this text has been stolen from the some paper. So to avoid that plagiarism text, you have to keep the accuracy of the title. Okay, later on the title paper will get lost and will never be read. So as I said, the title of the movie will help to boost the uh, credential to the movie. If same thing is happen with the paper, then no one will or never will be read by the readers. So you have to take care of the title. It should be concise and unique. The title should neither be too short or not too long. Okay, I will give the one next slide. There is a example is there. I'm talking about the why too short. Don't use that too short. Okay. Don't write this where studies like studies on, investigation on, and the etc. It degrade the quality of your paper. Sometimes you, because this investigations studies, this subject already obsolete in the market. Now you have to think about the new word. The title should contain some keywords. As I have shown my paper, there 4 keyword is there, and based on that I have prepared the title. So you have to keep that keywords of your work, whatever the scientific finding you are doing. On that base, you have to prepare your title. Then that keywords and the title should be meaningful, not a general. It should be concise, specific, and informative. And fundamental nature of experiment and finding. So, like in fundamental nature of experiment and finding, I told you that experimentation or a numerical simulation or like a machine learning method means artificial intelligence if you have used this words also helps you to write a title of the paper. Okay, this tells the what is the nature of your experiments, whether sorry, nature of your work, whether you have done the experimentation, whether you have done the CFD simulation, or you have done only the AI method using the soft computing technique. Okay, so on that base your paper will be scrutinized. See, this is the too short title. Action of the antibiotics on bacteria. Bacteria disease. To to get the recure from this disease, you need a antibiotic, and for antibiotic you have to take a one decision, means action. Okay, so 3 keywords is there, but it is too short. Someone asks how these antibiotics solved your bacteria, means save from the bacteria. Okay, so the answer couldn't be get it. So don't try to this much shorten your title. Write a little bit informative and concise. Then how to write a prepare the title of the paper. Make a list of most important keywords. Okay. Then think the title that contain these words. Try to read 1 to 2 3 times that keywords, and repeating that keywords you will come to know that I should write the title like this way. Then title could state the conclusion of the paper. As I shown my paper, in that I have shown that effect of that coated surface on pool boiling heat transfer enhancement. Means I have done the coating, and that coating I have tested experimentally, and while doing the experimental I checked the heat transfer, and heat transfer is in enhancement, means improved. So that was the conclusion of the paper, enhancement. So such kind of the title should be prepared uh, for your research finding. Title never contain abbreviation, chemicals, formula, or proprietary names. Don't use abbreviations like an just I show AMRAD. Okay, short form, that is abbreviation. So such type of things doesn't include in the title. Your paper will be rejected. Rethink of the title before submitting the paper. Before submitting the paper, try to think many times that whether whatever the work I have done, it is related to my work or not. If it is not suitable to title with your work, then the paper is misleading. So the editor itself will reject your paper at the initial stage. Be careful of the grammatical errors due to the faulty words order. Yes, as this is an online platform, journal publications, so it doesn't mean that Indian people will only read your paper, review your paper, or Indian editor will handle your paper. Anyone in the world will check your paper. So for that, grammar, English communication and the grammatical error should be minimum. Okay, and avoid use of the word using in the title. Don't write using word in the paper title. The next is the paper is the abstract. So abstract is nothing but a summary of the information in a document. So with this, I showed my paper. In that, you come to know that how should we write the abstract. See, so first line is say the nanofluid preparation and its deposition on metallic surfaces are in wide practices due to their enhancement capability in the pool boiling heat transfer. So this is a positive way. Why I am working on this nanofluid? and its deposition on metallic surface. So already people are working, and which helps to improve the pool boiling heat transfer. So this first sentence should be a positive description of your work. Then what I did in my experiment, that was the abstract should be written like that. The sentence joining of the sentence should be your description of your whole paper. See the next line: the effect of zircon nanofluid particles coated layer on pool boiling heater has been investigated with a DNS water. So whatever the coated surface I have prepared, which is been tested in a DNS water, okay, and what I have coated, zirconia I have coated. So three things comes to the know in this second line. The third one, before the coating I have to prepare the nanofluid, so I have to check the properties, and that I have mentioned. The turbidity, viscosity, stability tests are conducted and confirm a better dispersion of a nanoparticle. See, if I am preparing a nanofluid and if it doesn't have the good these properties, then I have to stop here. I have to rethink about these things. Until and unless the stability test, turbidity or viscosity improve, I can't go ahead for the experimentation. Okay. So sequentially, see, the sentence are sequentially will describe how your paper has been written. The next is synthesized zirconia nanofluid is deposited by the nanofluid. See, here is nanofluid is deposited on a copper surface. But before deposition, I have checked their properties. Okay. So in this manner, the sequence of the paper should be comes in. So it attracts the reader, editor, reviewer, and they fall in love with your paper. Okay. So that is more important. The presentation, as we say now, first impression is the last impression. That kind of approach should becomes once your paper submitted to the journal, and the editor will comes to know that, right, yes, really he did very good paper, presentation is also good, then this gives you plus points. Thereafter, quoting the characterization. Yes, before testing, you have to do the characterization. Whether the coating has been done, not done, has to be confirmed. There, then if the results are good, then you have to check with the correlation theoretically, uh, whether whatever your initial results are coming, that have to be checked with the sum of the correlation. Matlab same experimentation has been reported by some of the scientists, and they have generated some correlation, theoretical correlation. Compare with them. If the result is within the 5 to 10% of error, then you can go ahead for the further experimentation. So this signifies the reliability and stability of often result. Now, the experimental result shows that the sample 200 nanometer coating thickness and 200 nanometer surface roughness improve the HTC heat transfer coefficient by 31.52% compared to the non-coated surface. This part is a experimentation output. Okay, so this is experimental, means on the basis of structure. Later on, the what are the dynamics, whether it is improved or not improved. Again, this is the result and discussion section. Then here is the conclusion. Hence, by this experimentation, it is found that the effect of surface characterization of zirconium coated layer on the copper surface enhances the pool boiling heat transfer coefficient at the maximum coating thickness and roughness. So I told you abstract, introduction, experimental method, result and discussion, and conclusion. So combination of these three, short form combination of these three must be your abstract. Okay, so this is more important, because what is in your paper should be reflect in abstract. If you are failed to introduce your work through abstract, then no one is going to read your whole paper. Okay, they will just read your title and leave it. So that things I have mentioned in this slides, that abstract to be written clearly and simplify. First, and something that only parts of the manuscript read by. If you read very good paper, then it is read only title and abstract, and some people will briefly go with your in-depth paper. Okay, so that according to that sentence, principal, objective, then scope of the work, method should be disclosed, result should be disclosed, then the principal conclusion should be disclosed. Everything should be disclosed in the conclusion section. There is some limitations while writing the abstract, that it should not exceed 250 words. So major of the journal are saying that limitation is 250 words. Some are saying that 50, 150 also. Okay, and it should be written in a one paragraph only. There is no two paragraph abstract. In rare cases, it can be written in a two, if one paper is there, paper one, and based on that experimental result, you are again going for the any simulation work or machine learning process or the artificial intelligence or soft computing technique are using. In this case only, you can make it as a two paragraph. And this abstracts must be written in a past tense, because it's already work has been done and you are just reporting to the readers. The if it is some long words abbreviation is there, like an AMRAD I am showed, first you have to disclose in detail, and in bracket you have to mention that abbreviation of that long word. uh, don't cite anything in a references in a abstract, except in rare cases. If it is following one paper of your own paper and you are going upgraded version of that paper, then in that case only you have to cite. Else no need to cite any references in the abstract section. Never give any information or conclusion that is not stated in the paper. If you are saying that I have done this work, but the improvement or success of the my work has been this much of percent, but you never disclose about the performance of your instrument in your work in the paper. So avoid such kind of things to disclose in the abstract. It should be accurate with respect to the figure quoted in the main text, right? So whatever the figures you have included in your paper, and accordingly the text you have described, means discussion of that results, based on that, just write accurate content of that figures in your abstract. The next is introduction. Actually, this introduction has an two part. One is introduction, that is your why I'm studying that in that area. Okay, that should be a one paragraph. Later on, from the second part, you should disclose about the literature review. Okay, that's why I'm making made it the title as introduction or literature review section. So some of the journal says give introduction, the second heading should be a literature review. Major journal says that it should be included in the introduction section. Okay, so in introduction section you have to write what I was studying. Okay, uh, basically if you are working on the steam power plant, coal based steam power plant, so why should I think to do the research on the steam power plant, coal based steam power plant? So that reason you have to mention. Okay, see, nowadays coal is going to be finished. Prediction is going on by the scientists all over the world that 2050 the fuel is going to uh, minimize. Okay, so what is the alternate? So electric energy is their majorly need of us. If electric energy production is stopped, then the world will stop. So to replace the coal, we have to rethink about the another source of the energy. So why this is the reason that in 2050 coal will be absolute from the world. So due to this reason only I am going to working on a coal based steam power plant. So that should be the answer in your introduction section, first paragraph. Okay, thereafter why was this an important question? So as I told, fuel. Okay, some of after some 25 years coal is going to absolute from the market or the world. Then what about the power plant, those who are working in that power plant, what about their families? Major concern with the society will be increases. To have the solution, someone has to work on that topic. Okay. That question's answer should be comes in the introduction. Later on, what did I know about this topic before I did this study? What you have understand about the coal-based power plant before conducting the study? That answer should be there in that introduction. Later on, what model was I testing? Hmm? Means coal-based power plant is there. So industry you can't bring back to your research center. You have to prepare a model, a prototype model at your institute or research center, or a simulation base, and based on that you have to comment on that this the things is there, the alternate fuel will be there to work the to generate the electricity. So this 5 question will be there. That 5 questions answer must be in that introduction section. So it will give you that you are motivated with this problem, and due to that you are conducted the research in this area. So these 5 questions answer must be included in the introduction section. Some rules are there for the good introduction, that you must investigate first the present nature and the scope of the problem. If it is there is a no scope, then there is a no use of that paper. Again, a coal-based power plant I am talking, you have to read many papers on the potential literatures for those who are working on the coal-based power plant. Okay, already what you are thinking, already they have been reported. So you have to think that what they have reported, and is there any chances to go ahead with this same topic. If it is there is a no chances, you have to stop at that stage. So that's why this potential literatures will help you whether what is in my mind, I should go with that or I should go with the reported studies. Then if it is there is a possibility of to do the research in that area, you have to find study the methods, what kind of method I have used to uh, solve this problem, right? Thereafter the principal results means you have to find out the parameters, which are the parameters I have to study while doing this methodology on this experimental setup. Then the conclusion, that is comes from the your findings. Then figure needs a permission. Some of the figures are there required to copy paste from other papers. Okay, so there is a provision is there. So you can't copy paste someone's images from their paper to your paper. There is a process are there. One, you have to take the permission of that journal, that this is my paper under this journal submitted, and I have to require your permission to add this paper into my paper. So in that case they give you permission. So this is online system is there. So after their permission only you have to include that figure into your paper. See, this is the one thing. Second thing is if there is a curve fitting is there, so they have some x and y axis and they have draw one graph. Okay, so that graph result you have to compare with you, but you are not taking that graph into your paper. So better way, some software is there. I will show you the one demo of that paper. So find out the points which with the x and y axis parameters they got the points, collect that points and put up in your graph and draw the line of that and compare with you. So you are not copying their completely figure, you just taking the points, findings of their outputs and keeping in the excel, and accordingly you are preparing the graph. So there is a no need of a permission. Third one is just in the last points I have mentioned, common creative license. Okay, if that paper has been published in an open access journal, okay, specific, keep in mind open access journal, it means which is available freely to everyone in the world. So they have followed the common creative licenses. If the figure is published in that journal, then there is also no need to take a permission from the publishers. Already they have said that whatever the content in this paper are freely available to everyone in the world. Okay, so I will give you one demo, Google image demo over here. uh, Someone just confirm me that you are seeing my Google Chrome.
Yes, sir. See.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So you can see that I have just search a full boiling regimes. Okay, different types of boiling phenomena is there. So that figure I have searched in a Google. So I directly can't copy paste this figure into my paper. I have to take the permission. So the third point, what I told you, common creative. In that passion, you have one option, tools. Here you have a uses writings, creative common license. Once you searched in a Google what kind of figure you needed, and after going to the tools, search for the creative common license. So whatever the figures you are seeing in this screen, these are the freely available things. You can directly copy and paste to a paper, right? So this is the one source is there while you are adding others work into your paper. Three things. And third one is what I'm saying in the graphical method. Get data digitalizer. One software is there. Okay, have you seen this engine load versus brake thermal efficiency graph? Please confirm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, now this is the graph figure from the others work. But I don't want all the data of this paper because I am not copy pasting this figure to into my paper. But what is the better result in this graph? I will adopt that. So this black line is there if you are seeing. So here has a 4 engine load, and 4 engine load there is a 4 brake thermal efficiency for that different load. Okay. So I need this reading only. So what I will do, I will first set the x-axis. So starting is something is, I think it is 10. Okay, and it will ended at 110. So I set the x-axis. Later on I have to set the y-axis. So it is somewhat 10 and it is 40. Okay, so if it is log scale, then you have to select this is a log scale. If it is not, then leave it and keep it okay. Now point capture. You can see here what is the x-axis point and what is the y-axis point. Second, third, fourth. Okay, so from other research paper you got their reading, what are the points are available on reading of x-axis means that engine load, and the y-axis brake thermal efficiency, right? So based on this reading, put this reading into your own Excel and draw the comparative graph. Means same engine load versus brake thermal efficiency. If your own work graph you are drawing, with that only try to add this reading. So you will get similarly another line. Suppose this blue line is yours, okay, and this data, what data we have get now with this software, you draw the another line. Okay, so you come to know that this red is of reported work and the blue is my. So here difference you can say that whether my work is poor or better. So for this purpose comparative study is required, and for that you need a data of a published paper. So this is the one get data graph digitalizer app is there. With this you can get the easily experimental data of other works. Okay, so in this way you can go for the introduction. Now the general rule for writing the introduction, it should be written in a present tense while referring your to work that has been already published. But if you are referring your own work, it should be in a past tense. The tone of the voice should be active. avoid the lengthy or unfocused review of the previous one. Means some people says I have done this, but I have got the little improvement. Means not much energetic output has been obtained for that researchers. So don't try to add their papers in your work. Cite peer review scientific literature or scholarly reviews. See, we have in India we have paid journals, Indian paid journals, okay, which is taking 2,000 rupees and publishing them. Don't cite this kind of papers because there is irrelevant data is there. It was already copy pasted, so no need to cite their works because totally it is a unethical practices. Hmm? Then avoid the general reference work such as textbook. Okay, if you are using the online platform, means some link is there, university link, where some professor has given the talk, and in that talk he has discussed about the technology. Refer that link with that professor, there is no problem. But the school textbook, college textbooks are not a proper reference for our research work. Define any specialized terms or abbreviation, such as in my paper I have shown the abbreviation part. Some Greek symbols are there, some subscript, superscript are there. If such are the terms are there, you have to disclose that term. This term is represent what is representing this term with their units. That is more important. Then how to write a material and method section. So this section gives the full details so that experiment are reproducible. Means once you are mention the experimental setup, this is my experimental setup. This type of measuring parameters are there, some sensors are there. According to that sensors, I am putting into the formula, and with the formula I am getting the this value. Okay, so setup is there. So after that setup, you have to discuss more detail about the setup. How much quantity of heater is there? What type of thermocouple are there? What type of pressure transducer are connected with this setup? Hmm? Thereafter, you have to describe your experimentation in detail. That firstly I have cleaned my setup, then after I waited for the drying of that things. Means what are the steps you follow during the experimentation, that should be disclosed in that material and method section. Sorry. If the peer reviewer has a doubt that the experiment could be repeated, the manuscript will be rejected. Okay, same setup, same methodology, same chemicals, same nanoparticles, hmm, same mathematical formulas, same correlation, everything is repetition, then your paper will be rejected. So you have to take care that again and again I am saying that the paper should have a novel work. Otherwise, it is very difficult to get a publish a good research paper in good indexing journal. Then try to subhead this material and method section. See, in the material method, we can write an heading as an experimental method. Okay, so experimental method, we have experimental setup. So give one heading experimental setup. Then that experimental setup has a working. Okay, so we have to write that experimental procedure or experimental working. Hmm? Thereafter we will get some data, then that data I have to put up in a formulas to get our output. So that is called as data reduction. Means whatever the mathematical relation you are going to use, you have to give that subheading as a data reduction. Then if it is experimental work, then you have to do the uncertainty analysis or error analysis. Means repeatedly I am doing the experimentation, what how much is the percentage error in the output parameter, that has to be studied and has to be reported in the paper when you are working on an experimental setup. Okay, that must be too important while you are preparing a research paper based on the experimental setup. So in this way you have to give the subheading in material and method section. Then describe the experimental design in the details. If it is one heater, you have prepare some different kind of paper. So in experimental figure, you will show full 3D geometry of that design. Okay, but reader won't get now what are the kind of heater, any inside arrangements are there. So for that you have to show the detail of that design in the material and method section. Do not mix sum of result in this section. Don't disclose results in this section, because this section is completely belonging to the material and method what you have, and on the basis of that what methodology you are conducting on your setup, and what you are going to obtain. That's it. Don't disclose over here the results. Write this material and method section in a past tense, okay, because when you are writing this paper it means you have already done the your experimentation. Again, this must identify accurately the experimental materials. Means in details you have to disclose your setup, material, chemicals, okay, in the form of their properties, where you have purchased or procured, uh, whether you have prepared that chemicals or material by your own, or it is market purchases. Disclose their properties. Hmm? So everything should be disclosed in your paper. That must be in a tabular form, not in a text formation. Then the sources of subject cited, the number of individual samples, time period of testing, and weight. Yes. See, as you are writing that you have used the material in your experimentation, you are mentioning the properties, uh, but along with that you have to mention that how much samples I am testing, how much timing I am testing, then what is the weight of that sample. Such type of conditions also you have to mention your material and method. Then for chemical use, include exact technical specification or sources or method of preparation. If you are preparing, like in many people are doing the nanofluid, right? So nanofluids have a different additives. Every time nanofluids are not mixed with the DI water, because it is metallic, okay, so it will separate it. So we need additives. So you have to mention that which type of method, which additives you have used, single stage or double stage preparation method you have adopted to prepare the nanofluid. So whatever the you are doing, everything you have to disclose in the paper in a short form. Then try to avoid the use of trade names of a chemical, like as a chemical made by such company. Okay, try to avoid the trademark.
कारण मला SIP पण सुरू करायची आहे.
SIP long term.
नाही पण असू द्या ना मॅडम, माझं काहीच नाहीये ना तिथेच गुंतवणूक काहीच नाहीये. थोडंफार पाहिजे ना
Hello.
काहीतरी.
Methods. This is the part of manuscript must be clear, precise, and conscious so that it can be reproducible. All details must be provided, as I'm continuously telling you that this is the major section, because we call it as a methodology. Without the proper addressing of a methodology, it is very difficult to the reader or the reviewer that really you have work or not work. Okay. Thereafter, the previous published paper in scientific, only the reference should be given some identification. So the example I am shown that if you are using some of the sentence from any other paper, you have to cite uh, using that sentence from other works, then you have to cite their creditable. Okay, so you can see that in square bracket, that 5 which is representing means the concrete were utilized in previous study. So this sentence was I have adopted from the paper number 5. Means in the reference section the 5 number paper is there. From that article I have used this sentence. So this is the way to represent the citation of the other works. Then the questions such as how or how much must be answered and not left to be puzzled over. So in method, uh, how you have conducted the test, how many samples you have taken, this all must be answered in that methodology section. Method used for statistical analysis must be mentioned. Ordinarily ones without comments, but the advanced or unusual ones require the literature section, citations. See, I told one, my graph is shown that the Rosenau correlation, I think in abstract I have mentioned. So that is a theoretical correlation has been given to compare the experimental work with the theoretical. Okay. If such thing is you are using in your own work, then you have to cite that reference that this correlation I have adopted from this paper, and that paper number is this. Okay, so it shows the statistical analysis. Then how to write the result? So result is nothing but the core and heart of the paper. So what you have done on your experimental setup, and based on the parameters which you have result, and formulating that parameter into the graph or tabular form. So this shows that whether your work improve or decrement has happened. So that's why this section is called as a core or heart of the paper. So it should be addressed clearly and simple, which constitute a new knowledge contributed to the world. If your work is novel, then definitely whatever may be the your output, it is the new contribution to the world. And to summarize and illustrate the finding in ordinarily and the logical sequence without interpretation. So here you have to address properly the finding with the logical sequence. Why I'm saying a logical sequence? If it is a one graph, if that graph has a continuous straight line, okay, means like if you column based graph, if you are drawing, and that's showing that for the some load the graph is minimum, and for higher load that graph is maximum, then why that maximum and why this lower? Means if it is the difference between the low and higher is 90%, then why this gap of 90% is happening? That you have to answer that logically. Okay, with, if it is you unknown about that why this is happened, and if that reason has been addressed in another's paper, someone's paper, then you can mention that same nature has been reported in this paper, eh, and according to that paper this was the reason behind that, the difference between these two readings. Okay, so you should add that sentence. Along with that, you have to cite why this is logically happening. The text should guide the reader through the finding, tracing the major points. So whatever the objective you have decided for your work, you have to focus your result section on that finding. Do not describe methods over here, because already in material and method section you have described everything. You have to just discuss the results. Means if you are finding the brake thermal efficiency, you have to discuss about the only brake thermal efficiency. You have disclose study about the brake specific fuel consumption, you have to discuss only that. You can't discuss over that how I have calculated the brake specific fuel consumption, how the process has been gone, what are the experimental setup instruments are used. These things you have already discussed in the material and section. You no need to describe this method in the result section. So everyone has to take care of that. In result and discussion section, you don't describe the methods. The method of presenting the data. Now the whatever the results means output you have obtained, you have prepared one Excel of X and Y axis. Now it is time to present this data in the form of figure and the table, and based on that you have to try to elaborate that figure and table, what you have achieved or not achieved. Okay, so that is in the text. So that's why I have written here that directly in the text, in the form of text, you can disclose your results, or you can disclose your result in the form of table, or you can disclose your result in the form of figure. So all the figures and table must be accompanied by the textual presentation of the key finding. Means you have added the figure, but you nothing written about the figure, then it won't be work for your. If you add the table, you have to uh, address the detail about the table, what table suggests for your own finding. Okay, never have a table or figure that is not mentioned in the text. If it is, if you draw a table, suppose table number 1, and in text of result and discussion there is no any table number 1, means this table number 1, whatever the data you are representing, is irrelevant to your research work. So in such case, means for the reader that is irrelevant, because you maybe forgot to address that table number 1. So according to them it is unusable. So don't do such kind of things while preparing your research paper. Then table are appropriate for a large and complicated data sets that would be difficult to explain clearly in the text. Okay, if it is major complicated data sets are there, for that data set you want to explain in the form of text, then try to minimize that text and convert that text into tabular form, which will show you the good presentation of your research finding. The figures are appropriate for the dataset that exhibit trends, pattern, relationship. Yes. Whether load versus brake thermal efficiency, if you are looking, so whether the load is directly proportional to the brake thermal efficiency or inversely proportional. So this type of relation or pattern will be shown by the figures only. So that's why for the dataset, figures play the more important part. Any table or figure must to be understandable without reading the main text, sufficiently described by its title and caption or legend. Yes, this is very much important. Every figure has its title at the bottom of figure. Okay, and for the table, it should be on the head of the table. So what is in that table, you should be described in short title, and if it is figure, then what is the figure belongs to, you have to disclose in the caption of the figure. But do not include both the table and figure showing some same information. Means if you are prepare the table load versus brake thermal efficiency and same parameter with the same reading output, and you are drawn the figure, so it is a complicated. So try to represent your finding with one of them, either by the table or by the figure. But I will recommend it to go with the figure. So how to write the discussion? It is the hardest section to write, because the findings you will get the curve, you will get the relations. So why this relation, why this error, you have to clearly explain. In sometimes you have to clearly cite why this is the things is happening. It is with you only, or some people's already done, they also say the same pattern, same things is happen with them also. Okay, so that's why discussion section is the hardest section. Its primary purpose is to show the relationship among the observed facts. Okay, as I said that load is directly or inversely proportional to the brake thermal efficiency. So with this discussion, you can clearly mention whether it is directly proportional between that two parameters or facts or not. Then it should end with the short summary or a conclusion regarding the significance of it. At the end of this discussion part, you may say that with this load versus brake thermal efficiency, uh, something you will write about the one paragraph about that finding. Then you can say that I have tested this fuel and I got the better brake thermal efficiency. So that shows your significance of the work. These are the some components of the discussion that you must present the principal, relation, and generalized, which are come by the results. Point out any exceptional or any lack of correlation and define unsettled points. Okay, means if you find the new finding, means see everyone is reading about the load versus brake thermal efficiency, but you have cross checked between the fuel pressure between brake specific fuel consumption. So may not be pressure has been checked with the brake specific fuel consumption by anyone. So this is the your new exception. So you have to mention why you have studied, why you are consider these two parameters. Okay, and what is the benefits of this study to the current work. Then show how your results and interpretation agree or contrast with previously published work. Yes, you have to disclose whether your results are improved or not improved. If improved, how much is improved with the published work. If not improved, then why it is not improved. Both the answers should be written in your discussion part. Discuss the theoretical implication of your work and any possible practical application. If it is your results are very good, okay, you have already compared with the theoretical correlation, then you may say that if it is this type of fuel are used in IC engine, then the performance of this IC engine may be increased. So you have to mention the practical application. State your conclusion as clearly as possible. Yes, whatever your the objective, accordingly you have to disclose your conclusion very specific and clearly. Summarize your evidence for each conclusion. How to state the acknowledgement? So last here is this, summarize your evidence for each conclusion. What I'm saying that if it is fixed your three objectives, okay, and you got the results of three objectives, that three objectives you have to conclude in the conclusion section with the proper summary. Now the acknowledgement part, you have to acknowledge the paper. It will give you the better result while you are submitting the paper, because as I said, IIT Bombay, if you taken the help of the IIT Bombay lab, then the people will see that the results are very genuine. Or if you get any sources of special equipment, culture, or any other material from the well-known institute, you have to acknowledge them also. Okay. uh, like can see, if you have a IC engine but you don't have a gas analyzer to measure the emission content, so other institute has supported you, share that gas analyzer with you to test fuel in your engine to measure the emission content with their equipment. So they are directly helping you, using allowing their equipment to use your in your setup. So try to acknowledge them that with their support only I have completed my research work. Or any outside financial assistance in the form of grants, uh, contracts, or fellowship received from the state government, institute, central government, or any bodies in the overall the world. Hmm? So also try to acknowledge them. Do not use a word wish. Simply write I thank. Also don't write I wish to thank. Okay, give the importance to them while using the simply word I thank. Show the proposed wording of acknowledgement to the person who's helped you. Are acknowledging, not acknowledgement. Means heading will be acknowledgement, but I acknowledging such institute, such professor from this research center of this institute, like this. Okay. Then referencing. The referencing is a standardization way of acknowledging the source of information or idea which have you cited in your document. Okay. In some other papers you have referred to complete your work, so you have to give the acknowledgement with the help of as an referencing. What are the paper you have refer in your work, you must give the right list of references in your paper first, and according to that you have to sequencize the your references. So I will show you the some different type of formatting is there using a Google Scholar demo. So this is my profile. So I went to the Google Scholar. Okay. So I went to one of the my paper. So you can also copy this like this. If you have their own paper, then go to the Google Scholar and just search over here. Okay. So you see there is a inverted comma is mentioned. Hmm? Just click on that. You will find the various different style of writing references. Many of you knows the IEEE format is there, right? Writing references. So along with that, MLA, APA, Chicago, Harvard, OneCore. These are the again different type of writing style is there. So this means different. All the different journal have a different writing style. So if it is matching with their that journal, just uh, select, copy, and then paste in your paper. Okay. This is the simple way of writing a referencing. So there is again alphabet number system is there, then citation order system are there. So in text, if it is in a consider as an in a introduction section, if you are citing someone's paper, okay. So in that case, if there is a two author, so you should write there like this, author's last name, Ram and Sham 2005. So as it is Ram and Sham is the first name, but you should write his surname, okay? That both these people has worked in 2005 and their reference number is 5. If it is author is a single, then you have to write his name, uh, It is not compulsory to every time to mention the year also. Ram in bracket you can mention the 7. Okay. If it is author is more than 2, then you have to use this kind of style. Ram et al. Okay. Uh, in bracket it should be a 3. Means now 5 is one paper, 7 is one paper, and 3 is one paper. So in reference section, this 3 number paper will be first, 5 number will be uh, in sequence fifth, and this will be in 7. Right. Now this is if you writing a one paragraph of using a someone's paper, you have to use this type. If it is you are writing a one line, but that work is reported by 2-3 peoples, so in that way you have to write the different style and give the credit to them. Like we see one line you have written from the three different paper, so 3 comma 5, because it is randomly paper, not a sequentially, right? If it is 2 paper, then 3 comma 4. If it is 3 but continuous paper, so 3 hyphen 5 means 3, 4, and 5. So this is the writing style if you are citing the same work by multi papers. If more than one reference share the same year, then there should be a alphabetical arrangement. Means if you are writing some sentence and it is reported by the same year by different authors, so in that case you have to take care that you have to try to use the alphabetically order. So here I have mentioned that Aryan 2007, that 7 number paper first, then Sham 2007, then 5. Okay, this is the uh, method to write in a text citation in introduction basically. Okay, or in a literature use section. Any paper not cited in the text should not be included. This is clear. You no need to cite irrelevant paper which are not used in your work. Reference list allow readers to investigate the subject in the greater depth. Yes, how many papers you have cited, from which journal these are paper you have been collected. Okay, this is also more important. If you are referring all the papers from the Indian paid journal, then the reviewer will understand that you have not done the proper reviewer review work and the research work, so he will reject it at initial stage. So you need the good publications record like an Elsewhere, Springer, Sage publications. Okay, Willy. The reference list contain only the books, article, and web pages that are cited in the text to the documents. In reference list, you must cite books from which books you have adopted the method or something else, then articles or the web page. No other than these things should be cited in the reference list. Now in reference sections means the last part of the paper. Here you have to arrange it to, by the alphabetical by author. An item has no author, means if it is some online platform is there, you getting some PDF, okay, that is usable to your work, but there is a no name of the author, then you have to cite that title and the link of that online platform. That is enough. More than one item has the same author, list the item chronology starting the earliest publication. Means uh, suppose Sham has work on 2005, 2007, 2009. So 3 names are same. So in that case, you have to collect the referencing according to the year wise. 2005 will first come, then 6, then 7. Each reference appears on a new line. Yes, you have to write each reference must be like, and I showed that in a square bracket there is 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so 5 means 5 point, 6 means 6, 7 means 7. So you have to write the reference in a each a new line. No indentation is required, no numbering is required. It should be in a square bracket. Alphabet number citation order system. This is same as the reference section system, name and year system. So if it is book, you are referring any book, you have to write this author, surname, then initial name. Okay, this is must be in a different style as per the different journal policies. Okay, someone will says after the author's name you have to mention the year. After that you have to mention the title of the paper, then the public edition, then publications, uh, where this publication happened, and there if it is available DOI number or ISBN number. Okay. Khainar sir, I request you to share that quiz to everyone, please, because now we are at the end of this presentation. Then the magazine, if you are referring the magazine or the journal article, you have to write like this: the author name, then the title of his work, then this is the abbreviation of that journal. Okay. Some journal says the write the full, like an applied thermal engineering. Okay, this is a journal which has a full form applied, but in ISO abbreviation in one website is there. According to applied is changed to APPPL dot. Okay. Then thermal won't write, we write THER, therm, and then engineering, we won't write full engineering, we write ENG. Okay, so that abbreviation some journal are expected, so this is that kind of abbreviation. Then year of publication, volume, then page number. Someone will says try to first write the volume, then in bracket there will be issue of that volume, then page number, and after there should be a year of the publication. So every journal has a different type of writing style of references. So these are all the things are there. Style for the writing the references for newspaper, magazine, or journal articles. Then if it is you are using internet source or encyclopedia article, then you have to mention like this: editor in chief, then manage edition, then this is the volume, then they are incorporating this much, and you have to mention the link also. So this is the way to write the referencing. While preparing a research paper, you have to follow some ethics, rights, and permission. So try to beware of originality and copyrights of the others. Don't copy paste others' work as it is. Try to write in your own words. Do not copy anything without giving the credit to the owners by referring it. Yes. Always, if you are referring any one paper, then cite them. Give the credit to them. In some cases, permission are needed. As I told in a figure matter, okay, if it is a regular subscription journal, and that figure you are using in your paper, you have to take permission of that journal. Without permission of that, if your paper get published, then there will be the action on you. Okay. Then repetitive publication of the same data is considered plagiarism. Yes, same data you have submitted in one journal, same data paper you have submitted in journal number 2, so both are in a pipeline, right? But both of the paper are published at a time, means 5 2 days or 15 days apart. Later on they come to know that same paper has been published with other platform, so both the paper will be removed from the journals, so it's called as a retract. Okay, so try to avoid these things. Don't submit the same paper in a multi journal at a time. Many of the people will say my PhD going to complete in a 6 month, I have to publish one paper, so I will submit the paper in 4 to 5 journal. Okay, I will give you one example. If you are submitting in a elsewhere publications, okay, in a type of journal you are submitting the paper, and again in D type of journal your same paper you are submitting, but you have to keep in mind that the same elsewhere is the common platform. So they will come to know that the same title, same paper, same author has been submitted the paper in their elsewhere's other journal. So they will suddenly know that you are doing the unethical practices. So they will block you for the 3 years. Further 3 years, they won't allow you to submit a paper. So this type of action they have, publications are taking nowadays. So these are the 3 references I have taken to prepare my presentation. The Robert Day 1955 to how to write and publish a scientific paper, which is published by the Cambridge University Press. Then I have taken some references from the University of Queensland in 2009. They have given the Harvard style bibliography, and this is the PDF where I have got some data to prepare this. So thank you everyone. Anyone has a question, please ask me.
Yes, participants, please, if anyone has queries, they can ask.
Sir, I'm K.V.Sarode, working
Okay.
as a lecturer in Sri HOD Polytechnic, Sandwad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My question is that, as you told that title of the paper contain does not contain any chemical formula.
Yes, yes. Means what I'm saying that if it is say if we are using a reaction like that, okay, means H2O if you heat it and it is converted into H plus O2, right?
Ah,
Such kind of that doesn't need like an because sometimes see NaCl, it is a chemical name of that sodium chloride, so that is allowed, but the reaction you won't write in a title.
okay, sir. But whatever the paper you shown to
Hmm.
us that that paper contain chemical formula.
Yes, this is a name, na, shortcut of zirconium oxide. You can use as in zirconium oxide or ZrO2. That is allowed. I
Okay,
am
sir.
saying a reaction. Don't add a reaction in that title.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Uh,
Hello, sir. Can you hear?
Yes, yes,
Hello,
yes, yes. Please go ahead.
sir. How to find out the open access journal for free publication of any types of the papers, research paper?
Pre-publication, right?
Yes,
In open access journal.
yes.
Okay. So, sir, actually in all the journal, reputed journal, there are the platform is available for APC waiver. Means basically,
Okay,
some of the journals are there. They won't charge you the money. That is article processing charge. But the majority of the journal are charging you the money after getting a acceptance of your paper. So to avoid this payment of these things, one thing as in India is a developing country, they have four type of countries list. In that, the developed country, developing country, middle economic country, and low economic country. So from that list, we are belong to the developing country, second slot. So we get the 50% concession in the publication charges. Okay. Now your question is how to save the money in if you have to publish the paper in a open access journal. So my suggestion, what I suggest to my scholar also, if it is you want to save your money, go with the low economic country people, researchers who is working in your own area. Like can give you an example as Zambia, right?
mm-hmm.
Or Nigeria people. If it is the professor who is working in your same area, who can help you to improve the quality of your paper, add such name of that people. And if he submit the paper from his login, because he should be a corresponding author, then that journal will waive your all the article processing charges, because they all falls under the low economic country. Bangladesh is also coming in the low economic country. So identify such countries under the low economic list, and find out the researchers who is working in your own area and try to include their name, but genuine person, not for the getting a published paper. It's reputed people. If you add, then it is easy to get it your paper accepted. To only save the money, adding the people from the low economic country won't be help you to get the paper accepted.
Okay.
Or one more option is there, if it is your friend is there in a editorial board member in any of the journal,
Mm.
okay, because this editorial board member has a three paper in a year month free. If it is you
Okay.
include the name of that editorial people, then you won't they won't charge you the APCR money.
Directly, we cannot find any types of such open access journals for publication.
No, that we have to search, because see, for same purpose, if you are searching a journal which is not charging any single money, right? But if it is
Okay.
not indexed by the Scopus database or the SCI database, that is not
Mm.
helping us.
Okay, sir.
So,
Thank you, sir.
okay.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
I'm audible, sir.
Yes, yes, clearly,
Yes,
clearly.
sir. I'm here, Professor Nagargoje, Jain College of Engineering, Junna. My one question is here:
Yes, sir.
what is difference between SCI and ESCI journal?
Sir, SCI is Science Citation Index.
Yes, sir.
Okay. and SCIE is a Science Citation Index Expanded. So previously what happening, sir, whatever the journal papers are published are get printed hard copy.
Yes.
So their record is not maintained in an online platform.
Okay.
So they are doing this hard copies into the soft copies.
Okay.
So they have changed their platform to the online system. So that's why now a paper from I think 2002 onwards, all the paper are getting published online platform. And what are the papers are published offline, printed version, they are shifted on the online platform also to avoid from the plagiarism text. So that's why they have changed that SCI to SCIE, Science Citation Index. Apart from that, keep in mind, ESCI is not
Yes.
a SCI. It is a expanded sources citation indexing. It is not a SCI. Okay.
Okay. So
Yes.
means the weightage of the ESCI journal is less, sir.
No, see, ESCI is not a SCI journal. The name suggests only Emerging Sources Citation Index. Emerging Sources Citation Index. It is not a citation index. So it is more important to focus on SCI and SCIE.
Okay.
This short form making many people's confusion that E should be at the end, not the beginning. If it is, it's
Yeah.
a beginning.
Yes, sir. But all three journals, SCI, SCIA,
Hmm.
and ESCI is come under this web series journal list, sir.
Right. So see, sir, the journal which is getting a Scopus index impact factor about 2, okay,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
journal will falls under the ESCI, Emerging Sources Citation Index.
Okay.
Once that journal cross the 3 or 4 impact factor, then they will get it into the SCI journal.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay.
So that's why some of the journal won't fall into the SCI, but they will shown in Web of Science database ESCI.
Yes.
So in
Yes, sir.
future, that journal may be indexed by the SCI. That is the just introduction about the improvement of that journal shows by the Web of Science.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Fine, sir.
सर ती क्विज शेअर केली का सर्वांना?
Yes, sir. Share केली. Sir, last basic question.
हा बोला ना.
Suppose my title is finalized, but how should I check or identify that it is not get repeated by some other one?
Sir, plagiarism software is there. First things.
Okay.
Identical, Ternity is there. These are the two major plagiarism platform actual, because these two plagiarism software has huge database. The whatever you check by the online plagiarism tools available freely, that won't work because they only check from the freely available content from the online sources. So don't go with the online sources plagiarism tools. Go with the identical or Ternity software only.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, another one question. So, please explain about H index and I index.
Actually, H index and I index is there in Google citation. You have find maybe somewhere else. Yes.
So, this is also fine in Google Scholar profile.
Yes.
But
Sir, the
so in
paper,
short,
single paper, which is cited by the 10 people.
okay, okay,
One single paper cited by the 10 people, that is comes under I index,
okay,
I10 index, okay. And that
okay,
single paper is cited by the 7 people or more than 5 years by 7 people. Then it is comes under the H index.
okay. But same paper is cited by 7 people
Yes.
previous 3 years, and same paper also after 3 years cited by 10 people. Then is
So
coming both H and I index.
yes. Both papers.
Okay,
Because he has achieved the first goal of H index. Later on,
okay,
after some years, he has achieved the second goal of I10 index.
okay. Thank you.
I request everyone to solve that test, because this quiz will give you the little bit the research highlight, means what is DOI, what is the citations, where this serial number, ISSN number, how much number digit of there. So this will give you the just historical background about the research publications. So now only just I think 12 people has responded to my this quiz.
All participants are requested to fill that and submit that Google form that we have shared on the WhatsApp group.
I request everyone to open your camera to have a group photo for this session.
Okay, so thank you, sir. That's that, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Definitely, some many queries we have cleared in this. Like what is I am already, then what is the essential parts of research paper, how to prepare a title, then what is Harvard format. So such basic explanation that all concepts are clear regarding research paper. So thank you that you conducted this session with your busy time. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, RIT, for inviting me to give this talk on research, how to write a research paper. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.